Magic powers and mythical beings. Disney princesses hold a special place in the hearts of people all over the globe, and a little magic makes a presence in all of their lives, for better or for worse. And that got me thinking, what if the princesses found themselves right in the midst of the magic and became a student at Hogwarts? There have been many videos and theories online that sort Snow White, Ariel, etc. into a Hogwarts house. Then I thought, all these princesses come from completely different times and places. Who's to say that if we did merge the Wizarding world with the Disney franchise, that we would see them all hanging out together at Hogwarts? And by all means, that sounds like an amazing idea, but I want to go further with this theory. So let's take a look at where we could find the princesses if they existed in the Wizarding world. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry felt like home to Harry Potter, where he learned how to control and use his magic. In the summer before his 4th year, he learned that Hogwarts was not the only school catering to the magical community. Beauxbaton and Durmstrang were two of the examples we learned of extensively in the Goblet of Fire. But as the Wizarding World franchise grew, J.K. Rowling added a lot more to the imagined world. The number of countries that have their own magical school is minuscule compared to those that do not. This is because the wizarding populations of most countries choose the option of homeschooling. Occasionally too, the magical community in a given country is tiny or far-flung, and correspondence courses have been found a more cost-effective means of educating the young. So let's assume that the princess would either receive her place at the closest known magical school, or if it is too far away or doesn't exist yet, then she would be homeschooled or take on a correspondence course. Moana. Moana is the oldest of the Disney princesses, as her story is set over 2,000 years ago before any of the existing magical schools were founded. And as her location makes her the most isolated from the world's known schools, Moana would have no choice but to hone her magic abilities at home, perhaps having Maui to help.
I was only looking at the boats. I wasn't gonna get on them.
It's time to be who they need you to be.
Mulan. Mulan would have no acknowledged school anywhere near where she lived. The most likely being from northern China would be the Russian school. A fan theory is that this school resides in Novgorod Oblast, northwestern Russia. Though students from Central Asia are permitted to attend, Mulan may not be able to attend this school, though she could perhaps also attend a Japanese school, Mahatokoro. It is the only Asian wizarding school mentioned in the series so far. It is also possible Mahatokoro might not be the only wizarding school known within Asia. This is supported by many sourced facts that China appears to have had a long history of magic, which might be as old as Chinese history and its mythological founding. Merida. Merida lives in the Highlands of Scotland, placed close to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The film Brave is set in the 10th century, placing it in the 900s, which is the century Hogwarts was founded. Could it be that Merida might have been one of the first students at Hogwarts? Merida, the first Gryffindor. Aurora was living as a peasant for all her childhood in a rural French kingdom in the 1300s. Aurora could have been one of the earliest students to attend Beauxbatons, as it's known to have been built pre-1290s. The Pyrenees are a mountain range bordering France and Spain.
Goodbye. Bye.
Snow White is inspired by the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, and therefore we can assume that Snow White lives approximately in Germany, most likely around the 1500s, as the furniture and clothing points to this time period. If she were to receive her magical education at the age of 11, we need to explore where the nearest known magical school will be. Beauxbaton, set in Pyrenees, France, would be the closest, and would be approximately 780 miles away from Snow White's home. According to the Harry Potter wiki, Beauxbaton would accept students from France, Spain, Portugal, the Netherlands, Luxembourg and Belgium, and therefore Snow White would be accepted to the magical school, as it was the closest to where she lives. If not, Snow White would be homeschooled, and I'm not sure if that would be something her wicked stepmother would want to consider. What do you think? Would the evil queen be optimistic to have Snow join her in casting magic spells and brewing potions? Pocahontas. The film takes place in 1607, unfortunately a couple of decades before the founding of the North American magical school Ilvermorny. However, there is plenty of evidence from Pottermore that shows Native American tribes practicing their magic wandless, but would trade with the school to learn how to use wands. Pocahontas, if she were to have magical powers, would be homeschooled to practice her magic at home with her family. Jasmine. Jasmine lives in a part of Arabia. It is most likely that it is set in the late 17th, early 18th century during Ottoman Empire rule. However, there is no mention of a magical school in this part of the world. The closest school for Jasmine would be in Uganda, across the Red Sea. I would think there would be a smaller school somewhere in the Middle East, though we are not sure. Perhaps it would be the case that Jasmine would be taught at home via a correspondence course, although Jasmine would probably use her powers to escape the palace.
I'm a fast learner.
Belle. It is quite obvious that Belle lives in pre-revolutionary France, the 1700s in particular, and if she possessed magic, she would no question be invited to attend Beauxbatons. I can see Belle being the Hermione of her school, making the most of the library.
I've never seen so many books in all my life.
Rapunzel. Like Snow White, Disney's Rapunzel is based off the Brothers Grimm version from Germany around 1780s. Rapunzel's kingdom of Corona rests on the sea or a lake, so it could be near the Netherlands, which means she could be invited to attend Beauxbatons and may even have been there at the same time as Belle. If not, she could be homeschooled, and just like Jasmine, perhaps Rapunzel could use this as a chance to escape. Ariel was born a mermaid, and although quite different to the mermaids that appear in the lake at Hogwarts, I believe she could still be a part of the magical world. According to Newt Scamander, the oldest recorded merpeople were known as sirens in Greece, and it is in warmer waters that we find the beautiful mermaids more frequently depicted in Muggle literature and painting. The Selkies of Scotland and the Merrows of Ireland are less beautiful, but they share that love of music which is common to all merpeople. So, considering that the setting of The Little Mermaid seems to be more tropical with hurricanes, singing Jamaican crabs and palm trees, I believe Ariel would be one of the mermaids who live in warmer waters, and be depicted as one of the beautiful mermaids. Ariel would not be able to attend any of the wizarding schools being classed as a beast, but perhaps if her daughter Melody inherited magical powers, she would have a chance to practice magic herself. Anna and Elsa. Anna and Elsa live in Scandinavia, and their nearest school would be Durmstrang, situated in the far northern land. However, Durmstrang practice the dark arts and do not accept Muggleborns, so unless at least one of their parents was magical, they probably wouldn't be accepted. If they were not happy with this, they could go to Kuldovstorats, as this is in northeastern Europe. As it's clear that Elsa has magical abilities, it would have been a blessing in their parents' eyes for Elsa to go somewhere to control her magic. Next up we have Cinderella. Cinderella lived in a French chateau somewhere between 1830 and 1880. Cinderella's parents died when she was young, but could possibly have had her father alive when she was 11. At that point, Cinderella would receive her invitation to study at Beauxbatons. Tiana. Tiana is easy to place as we know she lives in 1920s New Orleans. Being an American citizen, Tiana would easily be enrolled into Ilvermorny, where she could move and learn her skills as a witch. I think she would be ideally placed in the Horned Serpent House, as it is sometimes considered to represent the mind of a witch or wizard. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Don't forget to comment, like and share, as this will help me towards making more videos. And happy Halloween!